Well, here we are again. You know, I am sitting here in Essential Men Grooming Lounge. This, you know, the barbershop is a sacred place.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when you go into the barbershop, what I've known with the barbershop, I go in there, and I have to kind of use this term. I hate to have to say it, but I got to say it. The barbershop was kind of like the place where you would find the wolf, the sheep, and the lion all together.
All in one.
Literally.
Yeah.
And they all was sitting in the same place. And it was almost like the barber was there to manage all these different personalities, because we know you don't put sheep in the area where wolves are at. And then when you bring the lion, you already know he taking out everybody, right?
Exactly.
So the barber always had to navigate all of this. But when I walked into Essential Men, I didn't get that feeling. I got a totally different feeling. I felt vigorated. I felt vibrant. I felt like I was walking into an experience. And so, Maurice Allgood, you are the founder. This was in your head and it dripped down to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just share with our viewers, give them and our listeners some credibility, where you come from? How did you come up with this? Because this is simply amazing.
So I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And the funny story behind Essential Men, it was that me and my partner Dwayne, we actually had a barbershop previously years ago in Canarsie, Brooklyn, called Fabulous. And we was very successful, had a good success over there. And the funny story behind it was that we was actually in the house during the pandemic.
Right.
And we actually do recording, we do record music. And we sitting there, and he's like, you know, I actually want to open a barbershop again. So I said, okay. And I said, I have an idea that I want to share with you that I've been in my heart for about 7 years. And he said, well, what is it? I said, I want to do the barbershop again, but I want to do it differently. I said, I've noticed that when I go into other, get my pedicure, manicures,
right,
there's uncomfortability in terms of when men walk in the shop.
That's absolutely true.
So you walk in there, females are like, oh, what's this guy over here? You kind of get a little quiet, Right. So I was like, well, why don't men have a spot for themselves that have all these services tied into one? And he's like, that's a good idea. And he's like, we should put it together. So literally, we started looking at places to, rent out. We did a lot of work. We had this one spot that we actually loved, but it wasn't available. And we just kept searching. When we walked into this location, we was like, this is it. Really? Right away, we knew this is it because the feel of it was different. It wasn't like your regular barbershop where you have a straight line and you have the barbers on one side and you have the customers on one side.
Absolutely.
This actually feels like an art gallery.
Yes.
And the vision that we had for it was to actually put it together just like that. Down to every single detail you see in this location is really what's thought out to the T. The color scheme, the color palette, the upstairs feel, transition to downstairs, having a lounge, a bar area. We want to make it real comfortable for men to really relax and take them out of away from everything. So the vision from me and him and my partner Jamila as well as Dwayne was really to kind of cultivate that atmosphere. So men can kind of, come here, relax, take care of their services such as barbering, massage. We have a massage room downstairs. Not just any massage.
No, it's called the Go Room, and I got to shout out to Precious because she really took it to a whole nother level. Precious is one of our massage therapists. That's amazing. Got Kiki. We have Jessica. I mean, my whole staff is really, really top notch. And I definitely got to commend you too, Rashid, for amazing support for just taking hold of the vision and bringing it to life.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, and I think that excitement got to go from people just championing it to really making sure that they're intentional about making sure that you grow in this community.
Correct.
And how do you do that? You do that by not just word of mouth, but when I call people, I tell them how to connect to the services,
right,
how to get down here. I tell them the location. You know, those are the types of things. So we're talking tonight about mental health and self-care.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that. How does Essential Men come into that particular arena and balance those two areas, because it's a heavy topic right now.
Yeah, I mean, the vision is for that, exactly. And Essential Men is needed. It's needed for a community, it's needed for de-stressing men, finding a place where they can actually be themselves and also connect with other men that's dealing with the same type of stress issues. Right. So, you know, with all these different services, you know, a lot of men don't take advantage of these services. And we want to bring that to light and make this the new normal. So not just getting your hair cut, spraying some alcohol behind your head and let you leave. No, our packages are actually designed for you taking advantage of other services. So it's kind of like a value meal in essential, you know. So you have your haircut, you have the lineup, you also have the beard grooming, hot towel, facial steam, all in one package. And we also have a king package that also includes other services such as the massage, as well as pedicure, manicure as well. Let's get that downstairs.
I mean, that's amazing. It's Friday night. You know, somebody got paid. Now they got to come get a massage, right? Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So the self-care part, you know, when you say men, a lot of men some men don't understand how to incorporate self-care into their work ethic, because they're constantly out there running, constantly trying to balance the family, right, or even just chasing the bag. Like, we're in that era now, right, where everybody's chasing this dollar. And sometimes you say to yourself, well, how much money they got to get to before they just take a breather?
Right.
How do y'all get them to make pit stops and say, okay, I didn't get that $50 million check yet, but I need to stop right here,
right,
you know, where I'm at, and appreciate life for where it's at? How do you create that atmosphere here?
I mean, it's very, very simple. It's just conversation. A lot of times, you know, guys don't understand that they actually need these services. So, you know, conversating with them, making it a real pleasant atmosphere, and then also just even gifting them with certain services that they never had before. So, you know, my whole idea behind it is just really just trying to incorporate those things and make it the normal. Because it has been normal for quite some time, and I'm pretty sure the ladies actually appreciate it, right?
I think the ladies are really gonna appreciate it, and they're gonna really appreciate you, because now you got all men who are really thriving, kings, right? We heard that term tonight, right?
That's it.
Kings coming in here and really taking care of themselves and really paying attention on being intentional about their self-care.
Right.
I'm sure the ladies are gonna, especially the single ladies, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk to that a little bit. You know, what is Essential Men offering the single lady by helping these men get sharp?
I mean, listen, we're gonna have a ladies' night over here. We can do something for them as well. You know, we gift them. We had an overwhelming response for Father's Day, and it was really shocking because a lot of ladies really supported the men by taking advantage of the King's package that we had available, which was $200. It gave you the haircut, facial massage, facial groom, hot towel, 60-minute massage, pedicure, manicure, spa treatment, everything, $200.
Really?
So we actually made those packages our permanent packages now.
Now listen, I'm gonna have to test that King package.
Test it out.
Cause my wife had a King package, and we're gonna have to test that thing, right? Put it together so I can see what's going on at Essential Men.
Absolutely.
That all these other women ran over here and picked up these packages, you know?
Exactly.
When I walked in here, you gave me a bottle of water, and it had Essential Men on it.
Right.
It wasn't just the water, but it was more like, it was such a personal touch. How did you come up with that? Where did that idea come from?
Well, so it's alkaline water, our own alkaline water, and obviously it's important to make sure you stay hydrated, and it's especially in a glass bottle because it doesn't contaminate the water. So that's the reason behind having that being alkaline. A lot of when you see water in a plastic, when it heats up, it actually contaminates the water.
Right.
So we make sure that our men, so women, become very rejuvenated from making.
Look at that. We caught one. Look at that. That's amazing right there. So you said alkaline water. That's not the regular water they just buy at the corner store.
No.
But why
why
alkaline?
Because it makes you, it gives you more oxygen. Really just de-stresses you. Tastes a lot better. You could really taste the difference, and refreshes your body.
So y'all actually, you're not just cutting. I'm not getting my hair cut only. I'm not getting facials or just getting a massage. I'm not getting my manicure, pedicure. But you also are health conscious.
Absolutely.
You care about me as a man staying on my health consciousness
100%.
and staying focused on that. So how does that tie in? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, men, we have a tendency to be on the go all the time. And we work a lot. And our bodies wear and tear. And we don't do things that's necessary to bring those things back to life. Oxygen flow, blood flow. So we're very conscious of that, for men. And we want to be around a lot longer than usual. So pandemics happen, people's losing their job, a lot of stress. So this place over here is where men could be themselves, where men could be men.
Absolutely. So Maurice, I know a lot of our viewers and listeners, they heard the man behind the vision. They got an opportunity to really hear your heart.
Right.
I just want to get you, how can they stay in touch with you? Because, I'm a Bed-Stuy native. And when I first came over here, I took Lafayette, I was driving up and I hit Broadway.
Right.
But a lot of people don't realize that when you hit Broadway, you got to cross over.
Right.
So we between that, if you could correct me, is it Bushwick?
Yeah, Bushwick and
Broadway, right?
Broadway, yeah.
So when you come across Lafayette, you got to cross Broadway.
Right, exactly.
And you got to be between Bushwick and Broadway,
yes.
On Lafayette.
Right. So the location is 1191 Broadway. The entrance is on Lafayette Street, between Bushwick and Broadway. So that's how you get to Essential Men. Unit B is actually the location on 1191 Broadway. So also too, our social media handle is essential.men if you want to follow us as well. And come down, check us out, try the services out, and I'm pretty sure you guys will be very pleased and pleasant with what you receive.
Well, what I did before you close out, what I did was I got the link, or I received the link,
Right.
To Essential Men, and I went on it, and I noticed that it was very friendly.
Right.
It was easy to use. I was able to read everything and just quickly click on, and I was able to set up a service.
Right.
Probably I did it and I waited. I actually did it today, like after 12 noon. I actually was just sitting. I was waiting for a meeting, and I was sitting there, just went right on my phone, pulled up the link, and went right on, and it was just so easy.
Right.
I ain't let nobody see my credit card, and I just put it in, and boom, I actually gifted one of a good brother of mine, one of the young men that I'm mentoring right now, and I actually gifted him an opportunity to get a massage here tonight.
Appreciate that.
He said that he loved it. It was wonderful. So I said to him, it's time to get that King's package on your own time.
They're available. So
yes. So I thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for allowing us to come into your establishment.
Absolutely. Anytime.
And allowing us to do this. I think it was beyond just a commercial piece, but it was very authentic. You allowed us to do it. And I think you're very community conscious.
Right.
And I look forward to doing many more things with you on this platform.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited about being able to sit here with such a dynamic young lady. This young lady right here is doing some amazing things in her community. Every community has a voice, but you decided to collect all the voices and be the forerunner of those voices. So right here we have Reese Robbinson, who is the founder and producer of Liberated Productions. Can you give our viewers some credibility about where you come from, who you are, and why you started Liberated Productions?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the show and bringing me into this fold. I am an artist, a producer, a lover of God, and a lover of all things magical. So I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. And
wow.
I've been in New York for over 10 years, so I guess I'm officially a New Yorker now. Liberated Productions was a charge that I accepted back when I was an undergrad. I went to a conference at Rutgers University, and it was called the National Hip Hop Political Convention.
Okay.
There were activists from all over the 50 states, and we voted on a 5-point agenda of things that were important to our generation. And our goal was to have the then presidents that were running to address these issues and address our community. So when we left the conference, they challenged us to go home and keep the conversation going, and that's when I created Liberation, which is an artist-based showcase and social justice movement. And today it is a virtual platform right now because of the pandemic, but we have done live shows in New York City.
Yes.
And collaborate with other artist collectives. And so what I do is I bring artists from all over the world to come together to share their art. I like to give a stage to artists that do revolutionary work.
Okay.
So work that will get you up and moving, make you consider where you stand on a topic, or really just empower you to do your art and take it to the next level. During a Liberated production, you'll also participate in a collective action. So
Okay.
we sign petitions, we share different movements and information on our social media. We donate to one another, to causes. And so if you come to a Liberated production, you'll have an opportunity to witness art, be art, and participate in community engagement at the same time.
Wow. So y'all put the guns down and pick the words up.
Listen, the microphone is the biggest weapon you got. As you can see, that's what we're doing right now.
So why is the microphone a big weapon? Because a lot of people don't feel that way. They feel like they've been silenced in their community, and they may express themselves in their small circles, but not on a large scale the way you're doing it. So why are people silenced in your opinion?
Because it's hard. It's hard to stand up for yourself in general. It's also hard to speak truth to power. So I believe that using a microphone as a weapon is our opportunity to give a voice to people, to connect to one another. Many of us are going through the same struggles.
Wow.
We're going through the same thing. We have very similar backgrounds that have led us to where we are. And so when you give people an opportunity to talk about that and express it through art, it almost forms a synergy, a
Right.
connectivity between
Correct.
people. And it makes us encouraged to talk to one another, build, and support. So that's what I like to do. I like to just give people the mic that have something to say.
Absolutely. So in the beginning, you said that you are close to or connect to all things that are magical, right?
I did.
I heard that word magical.
Yeah.
And so I said that we gave you a magical key today because you in a men's grooming lounge.
I love it.
And
I
this
love
is like the atmosphere where, it's like a off zone, right? Unless you're the massage therapist downstairs, you don't get to come in here, right? Because this is a sacred space where the men get to come and really release and share.
Yeah.
So we brought you in here because you are a voice in that community. And you're not limited to whether it's male or female.
Absolutely
So
not.
you go by a few names in the community, and I know you as Reese Robinson, but there are many others that know you by another name that you're very famous for. A lot of people have been searching you out. So can you tell our viewers what that name is, how you got that name, and what are you doing to get that name continually out there?
All right. So the other name that he's referring to is Poetress. That's my artist name.
Okay.
I created that name. So I'm about to tell you a sacred story.
Okay.
So I'm from Cincinnati, as you know, and Cincinnati is on the Underground Railroad. So the slaves would cross the river and be free once they got to Cincinnati.
Wait. That wasn't in Bed-Stuy?
Listen, it probably was. Okay. I'm not putting
okay.
it
That's where
past
I'm
it,
from,
right?
so I'm trying to figure
I'm
out.
not putting it past
Because there was
it,
an
but-
Underground Railroad going on in Bed-Stuy, and I'm trying to
Listen.
figure out if it's the same one that was in
You
Cincinnati,
know what?
Ohio.
It was really long. The Underground
go ahead.
Railroad, it went a long
ahead.
way. So I wouldn't
Go
put it past that. But one of the things that the slaves did when they got free was they renamed themselves. They renamed themselves so that they could become the people that they always wanted to be. So when I was stepping into the spoken word community, the whole renaming thing came up, and I was just like, listen, I'm just a poet named Teresa, so Poetress was born very simply out of that. And Poetress is my ascension. That is the space where I feel my best self. When I'm doing my art, I feel like that's the clearest indication that God is light in me. And you know how it is. You hear that song that you just love so much it touch your heart, or you see a dance performance that brings tears to your eyes. Wow. That is God to me. That is God's light. So it is in poetry space that I feel powerful. I feel like a connector, and I feel the spirit of my ancestors just giving me the power to do what it is that they called me to do.
Wow. Well, tonight we want to talk about redefining the why in essential. And I think it's appropriate that we're in essential men. So with all the work that you're doing, how does that connect to men in self-care?
Well, in Liberation, we find a lot of artists, male artists, that may not give that social justice piece when they go out. You know, sometimes you'll have a hip hop artist or a poet, and they're just on something different. They don't necessarily talk about revolutionary renaissance, is like what I like to call it. But when they do, when they do.
Wow.
When they do, then you really see the beauty of Black men. You get to see the beauty and the performance that everybody is hating on so much. You get to see them really, really just using their words to uplift one another and themselves. So it's almost like an outlet of freedom. And I like to just see brothers in action. I like to see them in motion like that. I think it's great because those are the kings that we all hear about.
So you said the Black man.
I did.
And you know, I looked over on the table there on the set, and I saw Rakim, Don't Sweat the Technique,
The guy.
as you were speaking, right? So I think that was really appropriate. So talk to that a little bit, you know, because the Black man has been going through some stuff lately.
Absolutely.
And there's been a lot of press and not looking good in the right light. And so with all the work that you're doing, and you're bringing on these individuals who have a voice, and they're coming with powerful voices. Let's talk to our viewers about some of the great things that you get to experience with these kings.
So when I'm in Liberation, and I call it an in thing, I address it that way because it is a space. It's a space that I create for this vibration, right? I love to see them just really flourish in their artistry. So what I've gained, I've seen Black men photographers that showcase art that's like, wow, you can see his heart through this photograph. I've heard the soul of the ancestors and some of the musicians that have played on my show. And just even some of the community leaders that I've collaborated with that are really able to galvanize people and bring them together. Not just adults, but also children, and just bringing the community as a whole. You know, we need that. So in my show, and just in any platform that I have an opportunity, I'm trying to change the narrative. I'm trying to give people something different to look at when they see a Black man, something to consider. How about considering his lineage, or the people that he represents, or the babies that's on his back? You know, so giving them a place to showcase their art, talk about what's important to them, really gives the humanity to Black men that the media tries to take away.
Wow. So I would figure that you cross a lot of different cultures.
Absolutely.
You're not limited to just one.
Oh, no.
So what other cultures have you brought into this whole liberated production?
I've had people from all different parts of the planet, really. And I say that confidently because I like to travel. So everywhere I go, I like to make a connection. I always try to find a karaoke or wherever the artists hang.
Okay.
So I've brought people together, you know, with different languages. If we all understand the universal language, which is music, which is art, which is poetry, then we can connect. So people come from far and wide to do Liberation. In New York, when I did the live show last, we had people from all over who had heard about this open mic, heard about this event, so they wanted to come bring their art. And really, when the art is on, all you're doing is having an experience, you know? So you don't really see those culture color lines. They don't exist when we experience the art and God in that way.
So look, you dropped another word, You said magical in the beginning, and you just said experience. And the place that we're in right now, this is not a barbershop.
Absolutely, I love it.
This is not just a grooming lounge. This is an experience.
Yes, it is.
When you cross over the threshold, you have an experience. And so, can you give our viewers just give us a sample of, do you have, because, you know, when you said singing, you know, my talent of singing is not at its highest. So I haven't done no recording.
All right.
So, you know, my wife told me that I wasn't the greatest singer. So I decided to hit her with some poetry.
Okay. Hey, you got to do what works.
You know what I'm saying? So I got a little, you know, got down on my tone and my voice a little bit, kept my cues and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I said, listen, can I just share this poetry with you? And
it
the
worked.
next thing I knew, that rhyme hit the rhythm, and together we made music.
Hey, I love Black Love.
I love it. So go ahead. Can you share with our viewers and our listeners? Give them a little sample. Can you share your heart with them? Now you get to share whatever you want to share.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So do I need to stand back?
No, you good. You good. Because I'm going to keep it a little bit light.
Okay.
But I do want to speak to the mental health topic just a little bit before I go into this piece.
Yes.
Because I do believe that studies have shown that when people were going through the pandemic, they were able to heal themselves from depression and anxiety by participating in art, whether they were painting, whether they were experiencing art, watching concerts. Doing art helps people to release, and that's really what it's about. So I think it's important for artists to always nurture themselves. You have to give back to yourself as an artist. Being a creator is a very difficult job. So when you go see art and you experience it, you are all of a sudden you become art again.
Yes.
And that's really what it's about. You have to nurture the artist. So if you ever feel low, if you ever feel like you're not there, put on that favorite Mary J. Blige song, you know, whatever you got to do to get yourself back into the rhythm and realize that you are God's art, because that's really what it's all about. So I just want to make sure I put that there.
No, I'm glad you put that there.
It's important to have a place to release, you know.
Definitely.
All right, so gonna make me sing. Let me see here. I don't want to do nothing angry. See, it's a good vibe in here. So let me like bring it up. All right, so I'm gonna combine a couple pieces and yeah, I'm gonna give y'all some magic. So the first part of it is called the Black Girl Blues.
Okay.
Right? And this is one of those pieces I actually wrote the poem for this when I was 17, and the music came later on. And then the other piece is called Just Be, which is more of an inspiring poem.
Okay.
You're trying to climb to strive, but you wanna give in. You're trying to pull your weight, but you're losing your strength. It's just so hard to change your life in this game, 'cause even when you land, you still begin to feel pain. Elevating and evaluating the current situation. On a journey, a voyage to saturate our minds, make the best of our times by marching for our nation. I'm waiting and constantly initiating this process of reality having a real focus to progress and motivate among Black youth. It must be working because I'm spitting lyrics to you about truth, to my own self and soul. Cultivate yourself with cultural flows and feel the essence. Inhale the spiritual caress of our ancestors, yours, mine. Rest in peace, Zell Pi. Yes, I miss her. So let's continue to seek all the ways in which they bless us with happiness and digest their caress of existence. For Malcolm and Martin are close in the distance, while Zulu and Tupac remain. I'm hoping Miss Tubman gets into my veins and trains me to keep sight of the identity, the richness of color that shines through me, and basically makes my soul like Sojourner Truth. I want to get old and become wise and learn to love the things I despise, because I can't be right with hate in my eyes. And I can't bring forth my knowledge to you about truth, so I try to maintain this oneness in everything that I do. Sometimes I get lost and think it's voodoo. You do too. So we find our own path, become temporary outcasts from mainstream society. But it ain't in my mainstream if it doesn't include me, directly transmitting positive energy, helping others to release the tranquility and understand that life itself is our only true destiny. To live and die and just to be. Just to be and possess existence is the concept we keep forgetting, complaining and not listening when the answer is easily seeked and grounded. Stay found and just be. Just be real. Be healed by the spirit in the wind like a heartbeat. Can you hear it? Let the rhythm of the drums embrace you and just be, because when it comes down to nudity, all of you bleed red like me. feel pain like me, release anxiety, and we all fear things. But if we keep in mind we have the Almighty God's protection all the time, maybe we can unwind and just be. Have dreams but stay grounded in reality. It can be a fallacy if you let go and just be, because God is the only one that knows the truth, and he or she shines through me and you, so be free. And with the Creator as your guide, just be.
Am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to snap? Am I supposed to snap? Am I supposed to
Whatever
snap?
works for you,
Snap,
whatever
snap,
works.
snap, snap. I think that was definitely liberating right there.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
deep.
you.
That was deep, and it was something that we have to hit the record button, because you dropped a lot of jewels in there. You dropped a lot of magical jewels.
See, now you understand that
See,
magic.
I'm
See?
feeling it. I'm feeling that intertwine there. So before we, because there's so much to unwire when it comes to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to talk about the self-care part, right?
Okay.
And so what's your take on that? Because we truly believe that during the pandemic, all the stuff that has happened, that even with our men, self-care is not something that within our communities is highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
People are always on the hustle and bustle, always focused on just trying to, get the dollar or just survive and maintain. So what is some of the things that you believe that we should be doing for self-care as an artist?
Well, for artists, definitely self-care starts with nurturing your artist, as I was saying before. What that looks like for me is going to a museum, listening to my favorite album, kind of just cutting the rest of the world out and having an experience with the art, because you have to be reminded of the beauty of art so you can be it again. So, some artists like to meditate. I do that often as well. Sometimes I meditate with the ancestors. I'll sit with a picture. I'll think about an ancestor. I'll try to just feel the vibe, the essence of that ancestor, and see what I can do to give back in that way. Other things are, where's your happy place? I love the ocean. I love being by the water. To me, that's, another one of those sacred places where you can connect to God and the energy of the water. So that's something I do often. And then in general, I think self-care is really about doing whatever you need to do at the moment. Take a nap, drink some water, eat some strawberries. Okay. Like sometimes
Strawberries. Blueberries too?
That work, any berry, okay?
any
Juices
berry.
and berries,
Okay.
they all work the same.
Juices and berries, right?
But yeah, sometimes it's just that simple. Sometimes it's just, what will make you feel good and not, feel off or escape, because a lot of people like to escape when they want to deal with self-care, and that
Absolutely.
comes through addiction, that comes through all types of stuff. So just, what makes you feel good. And also, finally, the thing that makes me to feel the best is praising God. I sing on the worship team at my church, Emmanuel Baptist Church. Mm-hmm. And that's when I feel the highest, when I'm praising God and I'm giving back to the source that gives to me.
Wow. So you talked about that level that makes you rise, not bring you down.
That's right. It's all
Wow.
about ascension.
That's amazing. I'm so excited that I had you on this segment tonight.
Thank you
You
so
were
much.
amazing. I think our viewers have learned a lot. And I think mental health and self-care would never be looked at as the same.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Every life has worth beyond measure,
Within each person is a flood of potential.
waiting to be unleashed.
What if every child
Every woman,
and every man was able to imagine something new?
full of hope,
new dreams,
and the ability to choose their own future. A new way of seeing the world,
the community,
themselves.
pushing past the obstacles that once were. And when the world yells, you cannot.
We will keep whispering, yes, you can. Together we can make a difference,
Together we are stronger.
able to move mountains and break the chains of poverty.
Haitian American Caucus, strengthening Haiti through
education,
Health,
feeding programs,
micro enterprise. We are Haiti. We are HAC.